Hi everyone. Welcome back to A Sky Full of Stars, Orihime's Route, episode 12. So it looks like the observation camp is happening soon, and they're going around seeing what schools have and what they should bring, and what they should buy because none of the 6 schools has this item. But more importantly, in the last episode, we were revealed that Orihime is actually the daughter of a famous voice actress, so Mikoto Tsukiura. And we do remember that her voice is quite touching and soothing, and it turns out that she was actually a pop idol. And we already know that she retired early, and that somebody confessed to her at the planetarium and she took it. And Orihime hid it because she didn't want to be compared to her mother, Mikoto. And I wonder what kind of father Orihime has. And I wonder if he's like a rich, successful businessman with lots of money. So like maybe a CEO or also another pop idol. Because it's quite interesting that Mikoto retired shortly after. So anyways, moving forward, let's see how it goes from here. So February gave way to March, and spring is slowly taking over Honoka City. And we have Kotaro. Okay, Kotaro, we're done. So, wait, it's cold out here. And it still felt like winter in the old Mikazuki village since it's near the mountains. But still, spring is coming. And the butterfly are starting to sprout. Or actually, the butterbird. Are you cold? I received a pork bun for my efforts. Well, thanks. Okay, got it. So holding the steam hot pork bun, I went over to the dining area. And it's Saturday morning, so there are not any customers. Or there weren't much customers. Oh, so that's hot. And the pork bun is just what my frozen body needed. And I know the roof of my mouth would get burned, but I gobbled it up anyways. So I want to warm up quickly. And with that pork bun gone, I licked the juice off of my fingers and let my mind wander. So Orihime is at her graduation ceremony now. So perhaps she is receiving her certificate or listening to the graduation speeches. So graduation didn't mean farewell at the integrated Meikou Academy, but it did mean going to a different building and the start of a new journey. And Orihime is about to take flight towards a new self. I arrived at the Meikou Academy around the time I expected the ceremony to end. It's like, well, for the Meikou students, they don't have to worry that much because this is also like so they have a division for high school and a division for college. And maybe a division for like the lower grades, so elementary school, middle school. So it's pretty much all integrated. And Orihime is just going to go from the high school division to the college division. I didn't see any students holding certificates cases yet, though. So I think they mean diplomas. So Honoka is kind enough to wait for me. So is it over? Even though the ceremony is over, the graduation would not leave just yet, or the graduates. And they would spend some time talking to friends and classmates before leaving. But anyways, well, we'll still be together. We're just going to be all in the college division going forward. So Honoka led me into the school building. and there are Meikou Academy students about, and they turn to look at me on occasion. So who's this dirty, unsightly looking guy in our pristine school? I really stick out.
仕方ないです。今日は特別な日ですから。
Well, today's a special day after all.
しばらくしたら会長も来ると思います。
So Honoka pours me a cup of black tea. And the steam from the tea felt good against my skin, and I enjoyed its aroma. Well, you're using her old title, I see. She said president and not former president. And that warranted a forehead flick, but whatever. Well, I'm sure Akito doesn't mind, and it's Orihime that does.
いいんです。あの人のいないときは会長って呼んでも。私にとって白鳥織姫はいつまで経っても会長ですから。
And that's what I thought she would say.
空見くんも同じだと聞いていますよ。星野第一の前部長のこと、未だに部長と呼んでいるんですよね。
Well, you're right. So we're the same. So he is my president, and even after I took over the position, that's what I continue to call him.
人と人との関わりなんてそう変わるものじゃありません。少なくとも私はそう願っています。
Honoka brings her teacup to her lips. Oh, so the way she sipped her tea reminded me of Orihime somehow. So our meeting for the observation camp?
すみません。わざわざその件で来てもらったのに。
So apparently we can't conduct the meeting without the president, Orihime. So we'll have to wait. It's okay. And she isn't in the mood to talk about it, I guess. Well, anyways, the meeting is kind of an excuse for me to come here.
星野第一の卒業式は
So it's next week.
そうでしたか。
Hoshino Daiichi is a public school, and it has a different schedule than a private school like Meikou Academy. And I'm grateful that our graduation ceremony didn't overlap.
空見くん、ちょっと留守をお願いできますか？
But then again, Akito's not graduating yet, so there's no point in wondering about the graduation ceremony for Hoshino Daiichi. So Honoka had her phone in her hand. So someone's contacting her, I suppose. Okay, I'll look after the clubroom.
よろしくお願いします。
She dashes out of the room, and it must have been important. And being alone in another school made me feel a little anxious. It's like, well, it's really grand, and I took out my phone and sent off a text. Okay, so he talks to Orihime. I should have said the words in person, but it had just slipped out. And with a twinge of regret, I waited for Orihime's reply. And my text had been read, but she didn't reply yet. So what's going on?
Konnichiwa, Akito-kun.
Because Orihime is right at the door for Akito. The door opens and Orihime appears. Oh, I'm sorry to intrude like this.
Yoshioka wa?
So where's Yoshioka? She has something urgent to attend to and left me in charge.
急用ね。
Urgent?
どうやら吉岡に気を使われてしまったみたいね。
Orihime shows me her phone. I saw the text Honoka is saying that she is heading to the clubroom.
まったく吉岡ったら。
Well, you don't like being alone with me.
そんなことないわ。ただ
Well, it's for another issue.
今日はあの子にとっても特別な日だと思っていたから、遠慮などしてほしくなかっただけよ。
For me, today is not such a big turning point, but for Honoka, she would see her mentor graduate and move on, and it meant so much more to her.
この物質も今日で最後になってしまうのかしら。
She let her hand rest on the spherical astrolabe in the center of the room.
二度と来てはいけないなんてことはないと思うけど、私の先輩も卒業以来来てはくれなくなったから。
Well, it's not that I can't come in, but the people before me, once they graduate, they left for good. Maybe that is just how things are. And my president still visited the club room now and then. And probably stopped after graduating. Well, there are boundaries, I guess.
そうね。
And it would be easier for her to pretend it didn't matter. But Orihime could not bring herself to do so.
私はね、最後の時間を吉岡と過ごしたかったの。天文部でのことをいろいろ話し合って盛り上がって。でもきっとあの子はそうなることに気づいていたのね。
And that must be why she had left the room. She didn't want to reminisce with Orihime.
逃げるなんて許さないと言いたいところだけど、こればかりは言えないわね。だって私も同じように逃げてしまったのだから。
So I ran away too. Wait, you did?
そうよ。恥ずかしい話ですけれど、私も逃げたのですわ。先輩が卒業してしまうのを認めたくなくて、部室から逃げ出したの。
So I think that's what is happening to Honoka per Orihime's.
ほんと、吉岡と全く同じ。この話は一度もしたことありませんでしたのに。
So Orihime gave a wry smile at this unexpected resemblance.
以前にもお話ししたと思いますけれど、かつての私はそれほど天文に興味がありませんでした。
So she had heard about the constellations, myths from her mother, and grew to like the stars. But she only liked them in a romantic sense, and she never once thought of looking into a telescope.
きっかけはあの人なの。私に星を見せてくれた初めての人。
Before Orihime joined Meikou Academy's astronomy club, it had a shortage of members. And she was almost forced to look through a telescope, and that's when she literally fell in love.
星を見て私は変わったわ。より深く星のことを知りたいと思うようになったの。それからの2年間は本当に夢のような日々でしたわ。いつも先輩の後をくっついて追いかけて、それが楽しくて。星を見ること、そして天文部員として先輩と過ごすこと、どちらも私にとっては大切なことだったの。一人で星を見たってつまらない。先輩が私に言った言葉ですわ。観望会を企画しましたの。ポスターを作って宣伝までして。でも誰も来てはくれなかった。観望会は大失敗。そこにいたのは私と先輩の2人だけ。落ち込む私に先輩は言ってくれたの。あなたがいてくれてよかったって。
So even though not many people showed up, well, no one showed up, the fact that the two of them are there kind of gives it another special feeling. So looking at the stars alone would be lonely. Orihime and her president, saved each other from their fate, or that fate. And they were just two, but they're not alone. And with someone by your side, you always had nothing to fear.
先輩と二人きりの部活動は決して寂しいものではなく幸せな時間だったわ。でもいつかは終わりが来る。先輩が卒業してしまえば私は一人になる。
So I really developed a close relationship with this former president, but then she graduated and it meant that we're parting ways.
それが嫌で私は先輩から逃げたのよ。
So after Orihime graduated, Honoka would be all alone. Well, actually, Karuna will be joining the club next year. So it's not going to be just Honoka by herself. But that is not the issue, surely. So Orihime obviously saw a lot of herself in Honoka. So he ran away, and that's what happened. So what happened next?
逃げたのだけれど完全に逃げることができなかったの。校門から出ることもなく敷地内でフラフラ。そこを先輩に捕まってお説教コース。本当に恥ずかしい思い出だわ。
Which means you're going to find Honoka and scold her. So pretty much you're doing the same thing that the former president did to you when you tried to run away. And somehow I didn't think that would be the case.
違うわね。認めたくはないけれど吉岡は私のようにバカではないから。
Orihime took a deep breath and then she stood up.
吉岡いるのでしょ。入ってきなさい。
So Orihime thinks that Honoka's eavesdropping from the outside. She called out to the other side of the door. And after a few seconds, the door opens quietly.
会長。もう会長ではないわ。
So FYI, I'm not Kaicho anymore. So Orihime got into the position for a forehead flick.
会長。白鳥織姫会長。
Well, you can see the tension in Orihime's finger. But the flick never came.
しないんですか。会長と呼んでいるんですよ。しないわ。できない。
Well, I can't. Orihime lowers her hand.
もう私にはそんな資格はないのですから。会長。ごめんなさい、吉岡。あなたには迷惑ばかりかけてしまって。言わないでください。言わなくていいですから。
So Honoka's voice grew hoarse, and there's a flood of thoughts that she could not put into words.
吉岡、私は本日明光学院を卒業しました。はい。同時に明光学院天文部も卒業。以降は OG となるわ。はい。私は部長としてあなたに天文部を伝えられたかしら。いえ。
Honoka let out a small protest.
卒業しないでください。卒業してもずっとここにいてください。それは無理な話よ。
Well, I can't do that, so I'm not a student anymore.
わかっています。でも本当にあなたは私そっくりね。私も先輩が卒業するときにそんなダダをこねたものよ。
But you know, that was the same when the previous president graduated.
そんな時先輩はこうして。
Orihime gently places something around Honoka's neck, and I wonder what it is.
鍵よ。この物質のマスターキー。
The key looks old, and it's attached to a thin chain, kind of like a necklace.
合鍵なら吉岡も持っていると思うけれど、このマスターキーは代々部長が持つものなの。
So this is a tradition that gets passed from president to president.
ずっと渡そうと思っていたのよ。機会を伺っていたのに、あなたが何度もそらすから。それは終わりにしてしまいたくなかったのよね。わかるわ。私も同じだったから。
Orihime said she had run away from the president too. And she probably ran away from the transfer of the master key as well. Okay, and that's why the president or the previous president scolded Orihime.
でも、もう逃げられないわ。ほら、こうやって。
But you'll have to take it now. And the master key is hanging from Honoka's neck. She had her fingers over it as if to verify its existence.
先輩、会長とは呼ばないのね。
So once again, I'm not president.
だって、ほら、泣かないの。あなたが次の部長なのよ。春になったら後輩も来るわ。その時はあなたが部長として導いていくのよ。無理です。私にはとても先輩みたいにはなれません。私もそう言って泣いたわ。でもね、あなたは明光学院天文部の部長なの。お願い、吉岡。あなたがこの鍵を受け取ってくれないと、私は先に進めなくなってしまうわ。
Orihime had a dream. She's going to get more people interested in astronomy. She had found her next step, and now all she had to do is to take it.
もう一度聞くわ。この鍵を受け取ってくれるかしら。私が受け取ることで、先輩が先に進めるのならば受け取ります。この鍵を、マスターキーを受け取ります。ありがとう、吉岡。
Orihime smiles gently at Honoka.
先輩、天文部を頼んだわね。先輩の思い、確かにこれから入ってくる後輩たちへ確かに伝えていきます。ありがとう。本当にありがとう。こちらこそありがとう。ご卒業おめでとうございます。
Hold on, I went a little fast. Let's see.
こちらこそありがとうございました。
Okay. So once Honoka accepted that Orihime is graduating, their conversation took flight as if there had been no fuss at all. And they talked about all the things that they did in the club. And they relived memories, often finishing each other's sentences. And all laughter and smiles, no more tears. And Orihime's 3 years of Meikou Academy has come to a cheerful end.
ごめんなさいね。こんなおしゃべりに付き合わせてしまって。
And I apologize that you, Akito-kun, had to sit and watch the handover ceremony. It's okay. Well, of course it is. I'm just happy that I got to spend time with you on this special event. And compared to Honoka, it had only been recently that my path crossed with Orihime's. And I'm lucky enough to exist in some part of her memory.
私は空見くんに感謝してるんですよ。
But you know, I'm happy that you're here too, Sorami-kun.
先輩に恋をするという思い出を作ってくれましたから。恋の一つもせずに卒業するなんて情けないって吉岡には何度も言われていたのよ。それとむつら星の会についても。ああ、そうね。
So the Christmas Eve stargazing event, and even after a few months, the memory of that night was fresh in my mind.
観望会を成功させるのは私の夢だったわ。先輩が叶えられなかった夢を私が受け継いで。同じように私が受け継ぐ夢はありますか？そうね。私はすべてやりたいことを成し遂げてしまったから。だからあなたはあなたの夢を見つけなさい。最初は雲をつかむようなことかもしれない。でもね、あなたは私から思いを受け取っているはずよ。だからすぐに見つかるわ。吉岡の先輩。
Alright, it went a little fast again. Let's see.
だからすぐに見つかるわ。吉岡の吉岡だけの夢が。
Okay.
見つかったら私にだけこっそり教えてね。後輩の成長を感じたいから。はい。
So it is as if they're confirming things with each other, and the rest of the day passed serenely. And they kept talking as if neither one wanted today to end. The snacks, some tea, and enjoyable conversation. And this is the last of their days together. And the final tea party went on until the sky turned dark. Okay, so it's a week or so after Orihime's graduation, and our observation trip is finally here. Okay, so it's time for the observation trip. And I really wonder, so Honoka could sense that Orihime had a crush on Akito, and I wonder if she got some pushback on the other side. It's like, well, I'm sure you can find someone else that's much better than Akito, someone that's equal to you in terms of wealth and status. And I'm sure there are many Meikou male students that have that. And I wonder if Honoka is surprised that, so why him? Or why go with this guy? So anyways, I guess I'm all packed. So I'm ready to go. So what about you, Take?
こっちも OK だ。
I'm good too. I left all the unnecessary stuff in the room and brought only what I needed for the camp. Okay, so let's head out. Ooh.
こちらですわ。
And when we arrived at the Meikou Academy, Orihime waved at us, directing us to the meeting area. So it looks like we have quite a crowd. So several students from each school had already gathered.
マイクロバスが来ていますので、大きな荷物はそちらに預けてください。
And I wonder if they could all fit into it. So usually for this trip, you would see like a huge motor coach, like one from MCI, and it has lots of cargo space underneath, and it's a nice comfortable ride up to the mountains. Got it? Walking over to the bus, I saw someone I knew helping with the luggage. So who is it?
空見さん、荷物はこちらにお願いします。
Keisuke. Oh, so give me your luggage. So one by one, they are placed in the trunk, or maybe the cargo area. Oh, so this is mine and this is Takeichi's. So
おうよ。
I took Takeichi's luggage and passed it to Keisuke. So should we help too?
いや、こちらは平気だよ。 何かあったら呼ぶからその時はよろしく頼む。
Well, we're okay, and I think they're almost all loaded up. So there are more girls than guys in the Six Stars Club, but to my surprise, there's no shortage of lifting power.
おーい、アキニ
So it looks like Corona's here too.
あいつの面倒は任せた。俺はちょっくらなるえちゃんのとこ行ってくるからよ。
Well, Corona wanted to come in the first place. And Takichi is just, well, I'm accompany Corona. And also, I get a chance to go and make a move on Narue. And just as Corona comes running over, Takichi runs away from her.
あれ、うちのお兄ちゃんは
Well, he left you in my care and ran off.
あ
So he wants to abandon me, right? My Oni-chan? And she understood immediately.
ーちゃんとコロナの保護者しないと後でお母さんに叱られるのにな。
Well, our mother said that he's supposed to look after me, and I'm going to tell her about what happened. Well, I'll take care of you instead, so don't worry. And Shiva, the mom's like, well, Take, why did you have someone else take care of our daughter? I thought I told you to go just for this responsibility.
アキニありがと
But for Karuna, she does not mind.
う。こっちもお兄ちゃんが羽目を外さないようにコロナがしっかり見とかなきゃね。
And just who is looking after whom, I wonder. Again, I'm seeing a more mature side to Corona. So Corona, so where's your luggage? The big ones go in the trunk, the cargo area.
じゃあお願いしよっかな。
So we went back to see Keisuke. So after stowing Corona's travel bag, we went to see how everyone is doing.
アキトくん、いたいた。参加者リストにチェックまだだよね。
So Sai is here. Sai and Noriko are standing next to the bus door and taking attendance. Well, not yet. So where should I go for this?
空見くん、こちらでお願いします。
Checking my name off the list, I also confirmed other details at the same time. My president is already here, apparently. I spot him laughing and chatting with students from another school, no one I know.
アキニ
Well, nothing. So they're in the same school year, apparently. And I had the chance to speak to him later, so I decided to postpone my greeting.
ピカリンも来れたらよかったのにね。
Okay, so I was like, well, this is all great, but you know, Pikarin's missing, or Hikari, and I'm sure Hikari's not going to be happy when she comes back and realizes that she missed a very exciting and special event. Well, unfortunately, Hikari moved temporarily overseas. So we had asked Hikari to join us, but she said it's not possible. It's like, well, I can't come back anytime soon. She really wanted to come, so let's send her lots of photos. And I hope it doesn't make Hikari jealous and left out.
ピカリンに見せつけてやろうっと。
Well, let's make her jealous. So we're going to create so many fun memories, even Hikari would be jealous. There you go. So even though spring is near, it still got dark pretty early. At last, so it's time to set out.
参加予定者全員揃いました。ご苦労様でした。それでは、そろそろ出発ね。
Hold on, went a little fast again. Sorry.
ご苦労様でした。それでは、そろそろ時間ですし。
Okay. So sounding the horn once, the bus sets off with all of us on it. And the plan is to take the expressway north with a break at a service area along the way. So I wonder how long this trip is going to take. Maybe 2 hours, 3 hours? We expect to reach around our destination around midnight. So maybe, okay, so it's more like 5 or 6 hours. And inside the bus or the motor coach, people are already falling asleep.
アキトくん、ほら見て、雪ですわ。
And several tunnels later, it starts to look like winter outside. And there isn't any snow falling, but even from the moving bus, we could see some piled up. Oh, so here we are.
ワクワクしますわ。
My anticipation grew as we neared our destination. And there's no time to feel sleepy. Okay, so they're up in the winter lodge. Except there's snow here. So watch your step.
ありがとう、アキミ。
We finally arrived at the location of our observation camp. So the snow had been cleared, but we are so unused to it, so it's quite dangerous.
大変滑るので、慌てず焦らず、慎重に降車してくださ
Well, I'll help.
い。よろしくお願いします。
So one by one, the camp participants get off the bus.
ストーブ、で、いいかな。
Yeah, so here you go. So take care now. I held out my hand for Saya.
俺は手なんかいいぞ。
I know. Takeichi, Keisuke, and the rest of the guys managed up on their own.
えーっ
So what about Orihime? I'm sure she also wants a hand from Akito. So next comes Orihime, who is taking very tentative steps. And in spite of that, she seems fascinated by the snow. So need a hand?
と、結構ですわ。
Okay, so I'm fine.
トン。
And without any concern for her footing, Orihime just jumps. And she loses her balance. And Akito had to catch Orihime.
助かりましたわ。
I caught Orihime in my arms. All is well.
ですが、そろそろ。ヒューヒュー、お暑いね、お二人さん。
And I wonder if Orihime did it on purpose. Well, it doesn't look like it though.
いきなり見せつけんじゃねえぞ。
And the two who saw the whole thing teased us mercilessly.
こちらはゆっくりでいいですから。
And even Noriko, who is next in line, is making us feel silly.
アキトくん？
Well, if I leave you alone, who knows what you'll do. So you'll try something crazy again and you'll fall over. And with a heave, I am now carrying Orihime in my arms. Uh-oh, so the princess carry, and I'm sure that's going to generate even more unwanted attention.
どうしたのいきなり。
And it's embarrassing for Orihime. Well, I'm already holding you, so I'll just carry you to the front door. So, Take, get my luggage for me, okay? And I hope he doesn't get upset with that.
しゃあね。貸し1だからな。
Okay, so you owe me one.
アキトくん？
Now then, let us proceed, Your Highness. And with my princess in my arms, I gave a slight bow. And very carefully, I start walking across the snow.
先輩、あとはお任せください。でもいいの？いいんです。私もちょっと浮かれてるみたいですから。
Well, this is good, so I want this to continue. And all of us, even Nare and Noriko, are excited for the camp. So at least Honoka is now calling Orihime Senpai instead of Kaicho. So she has accepted that Orihime is not the president of the astronomy club of Meikou Academy anymore. And speaking up on the atmosphere of the snow country, a cloud of anticipation has descended on us all. And I'm no exception. Okay, hold on tight, okay?
しょうがないわ。
Well, I guess that's how it's gonna be. Orihime grabs onto me. And I took my time and moved carefully so I would not slip and drop Orihime. And with everyone's eyes on us, I escort Orihime to her castle.
重くないかしら。
I'm okay.
重くないとは言ってくれないのね。
Well, come on. I'm not really happy about this. Well, no one's light, really.
そういう時は嘘でも軽いというものよ。
Well, it's not the weight issue. Well, you really do weigh a lot, Orihime, on the scales of my heart.
バカ。転ばないように気をつけてね。合宿はまだ始まったばかりなのですから。点呼を取りますので、呼ばれた方は返事をしてください。
Okay, so we're now in the common area, and so as a camp representative, Honoka takes attendance. The heater is working so well in the cafeteria, it felt warm even after taking our coats off.
この後の予定は
So what's next? So we get to go to our assigned rooms and unpack. I answered looking at the itinerary.
たった2日とちょっとだというのに凝ったことをするものね。
So the itinerary is quite impressive, and everyone at the Seisan Girls had worked on the cover illustration, and they had done an amazing job. Honoka had drafted the context, and Noriko had fixed the layout for printing. So it's more fun when you put your heart into it.
それもそうね。でもそうなると余計に悔しいわね。私もしおり作りに参加したかったですわ。
But I wanted to participate in making this as well. As a special guest, Orihime has been barred from menial tasks like itinerary creation. And at Orihime's keeper, I had been barred too, so even I could not help as well.
せめて一口コラムのコーナーでも任せてもらえたら。
Well, that's absurd. So it's kind of like you're doing the unwanted parts of the itinerary.
そうかしら。読み物があるときっと楽しいと思うのだけれど。
Well, next time then. So I realized my mistake too late. And would there even be a next time?
そうね。次の機会にすればいいことだわ。
I'm sure there will be a next time, because for Akito, he has at least, like about 2 years before he has to graduate from his school, so they might be able to do another interesting event in the astronomy clubs or the Six Stars Club, and Orihime can come in as like a former club member. So Orihime?
何？これで最後にするつもりなの？名目はむつら星の会でなくても構わないわ。こうして大勢で星見旅行するなんて絶対またやってみたいもの。
Well, it'll be great if I could do something else, and it doesn't have to be with the Six Stars Club members. And she was like, well, how about just the two of us on a stargazing adventure? Orihime's looking straight at the future without a lot of sentimentality. She has set her sights on her dream, and it had changed her from within.
次は絶対幹事をしなくては。こんな楽しそうなこと自分でやらずしてどうするのよ。
And I'll be your right-hand person.
そうね。吉岡は蚊帳の外にしてやりましょう。今度の仕返しですわ。
I'm going to leave Yoshioka out. An evil smile, flits across Orihime's face. And thankfully, Honoka didn't notice it. Okay, so this is Akito's room, and yes, it's quite small, a desk and a bed and a wardrobe. And when I carry my luggage into my assigned room, I gasp in amazement. So it is much better than Akito's usual arrangement. It's a Western-style business hotel room, just like the photos on the website. So this is Meikou Academy for you, I guess. So the lodge is owned by Meikou Academy. And from the outside, it looks like an ordinary seminar facility, but there are hints of luxury everywhere else. So the bed is soft. And it's a normal single bed, but it had a softness unlike any business hotel. Well, I'm sure being too soft does have its disadvantages. And so some people actually like it firmer because it kind of straightens your back out when you sleep. So there are no yukata, but the towel and toiletries are stuff you'll find in a luxury hotel. And if we are here as regular guests, how much would we have to pay, I wonder? I'm sure it's probably going to be maybe I don't know, $400 a night, $500 a night. Well, US dollars.
あとちょっといいか
Hey, so Take, so come on in. I opened the door and let Take in.
うーすそっちはどうだ
So how's the room? Not bad.
アキトは角部屋かよかったじゃねえか
So what's good about a corner room? No, it's the furthest from everything. So it's kind of like I'm left out of the loop. So corner rooms sound like a good thing, but this one's right at the end of the hallway, so I'm far away from everyone else. And it's not exactly in the corner either, so there seems to be a linen room in the back. So I'm next to the service room where the maids go.
まあ聞けって俺と共同戦線を張らないか
So what's going on? Wait, Frontline, what are you talking about?
俺は明日の夜勝負をかけるだから部屋には戻ってこないつもりだ
So what is he going to do? Oh. He must be talking about Nare. I don't know how far they had gone, but he is planning to have some fun in her room. So I'm going to go in Nare's room and I'm going to win her. And I hope it's not in a forceful or a very criminally bad way.
そこでだお前がそれとなく協力してくれるならこっちも力を貸すぜ
So you're going to help me make it happen. I see.
ま今の段階では軽くお話しする程度だけどなまずは俺という人間を知ってもらうところから始めるんだ
As I expected, Takeichi had a step-by-step plan to win Nare over. I understand, so let's work together. Okay, so we're not going to make this a very forceful event, but we'll try to get... Or I'll try to get Take closer to Nare in a good way.
そうこなくっちゃじゃよろしく頼むぜ
Takeichi returns to his room in high spirits. Okay, so I hope he follows through. Well, I've got to support Take's little romance. He's one of my few close friends, so I really did want him to succeed. And now his real girlfriend is here, so Orihime. With Corona. So moments after Takeichi left, Orihime and Corona comes to my door. So is it different from your room, Corona? Well, it's the same. Guys and girls are assigned to separate floors so that there will not be any problems. Even on this unchaperoned camp trip, everyone is expecting a couple of romantic sparks. So it's time for us to go to sleep, but of course, the facility had a large bath. And aside from cleaning time, it's open 24 hours, which is very convenient. So let's go together. Well, it's cold here, and my body could use some heating up. Well, I don't think Akito wants to go. He wants to stay here and warm up. Oh, so he wants to go to the bath. And so we headed to the large bath with towels and a change of clothes. Wait, how can this be? So it's not unexpected, but instead of a communal bath, there are separate baths for men and women. Well, I think that's better. I'm glad they asked me along, but this took most of the meaning out of it. So I think it's like one big bath, but with a huge partition between men and women. And on the women's side, Karuna's talking to Akito, like, "Hey, the bath is big." Karuna calls out to me across the dividing wall, so the partition. And I could hear everything she said. So Karuna's bright voice carried throughout both sides of the bath.
コロナさん、少々声を落とした方がいいですわ。はーい。わ、姫ちゃんのおっぱいでっかい。お湯に浮いてるよ。やめてください。恥ずかしいですわ。たよん、たよん。
I wonder if they realized that they could be heard on the other side. I don't think they care. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Akito has company, so the president of, or maybe the former president of the Hoshio Daiichi Astronomy Club is here.
むしろごちそうさまでしたって感じです。
Oh, Case here too. I don't know about the girls, but I wasn't alone on my side. And the guys grinned as they imagined what is going on in the women's bath. I wonder what Orihime looks like in the bath, and this too is part of the fun of camp.
そういうことはもっと早く教えてもらいたかったですわ。
So what's going on now? After the bath, we met up in the cafeteria. I'm sorry, I just couldn't shout it out. You know.
まさか殿方の浴場にまで聞こえていたなんて。
It's like, well, I did hear all those H comments from Karuna about you.
ごめんね、姫ちゃん。コロナふざけちゃって。
Well, I was just too excited. Even Karuna is feeling remorseful. And not touching her fruit-flavored milk, she kept looking over at Orihime.
いいんですのよ。それより飲み物をどうぞ。じゃあいただきます。甘っ。でも冷え冷えで超美味しい。
And it's sweet and yummy, and Karuna sucks away at her free milk, evidently enjoying herself.
では私も。甘っですわ。
Orihime did her best impression of Karuna.
フルーツと言いますか。これフルーツですの？
So is it artificially flavored? Doesn't look like it though. And I gave a wry smile. Well, I'm not a fan of fruit flavored milk. It's just too sweet for me. Well, my coffee milk doesn't taste like coffee either. So it's like, well, either way, they're all artificially flavored, so it's not really authentic.
そうなの？
Or maybe the milk flavor is just too overwhelming, and you can't really taste the coffee or the fruit. She looks like she found a new target. So, you want to taste? I held out a bottle to Orihime.
ではいただきますわね。
Okay.
これフルーツ牛乳に迫る甘さですわね。
But the coffee makes it more bearable.
なるほどなるほど。
I guess. Orihime drank some more coffee milk for her analysis.
コロナも。
Well, I want some too. I want to see what coffee milk tastes like. Okay.
はい、コロナさんもどうぞ。はい。こ こに吉岡がいたらコロナさんを甘やかすなと言われそうですけど。
That's true.
そういえば吉岡はどこに行ったのかしら。
Well, I know the answer. So Honoka's having a secret meeting with key members about tomorrow's plan.
やっと戻ってきましたわ。
And for some reason, Orihime wants to be in Akito's room. So after dropping off Corona, we are back in my room. Hey, you're not feeling sleepy, right, Orihime?
そうですわね。コーヒー牛乳のおかげで眠気ゼロですわ。
So how much caffeine is in that coffee milk, anyways? Well, enough to keep someone awake, surely. Well, do you want to stay and chat for a bit?
当然そのつもりですわ。団体旅行といえば夜のトークは欠かせませんもの。
It's exciting to be on camp with all your friends, and Orihime is even more animated than usual. And even the smallest thing brought her joy. It's written all over her face. And I guess normally you would be with other girls.
もちろん吉岡たちとはこの後盛り上がりますわ。アキト君は他の男子とは盛り上がらないの？
No, I'm not into that sort of thing.
それはいけないわね。私との時間を大事にしてくれるのは嬉しいけれど、それはそれ、これはこれよ。
So you have to enjoy the trip too, and I won't be happy if you don't. Well, I'll go check on the other guys later then.
それがいいですわ。恋人同士の語らいはいつでもできますから。
And I had been looking forward to spending time with her, so I didn't want to let her go again. But if Orihime really wanted to spend time with the girls, then I didn't have a choice.
もう寂しんぼですね、アキト君は。
As if sensing my emotions, Orihime moves closer until our shoulders touched. And her chin felt so supple after the bath.
ちゃんとアキト君とも仲良くしますから。
Orihime, I embraced her and pressed my cheek to hers.
アキト君のほっぺ、プルプル卵肌です。
Hey, that's my line.
温泉の効果バッチリあったみたいね。
So it did help you, the hot springs.
どうかしら。いつもの私より魅力的になってる？
Her face might right next to mine. Orihime looks up at me. And that gesture is so adorable, I want to squeeze her. Honestly, it should be illegal how attractive you are right now.
よかった。いつでもアキト君の一番でいたいから。
Well, you're my top choice forever, Orihime. And as I look at Orihime, I could not imagine how it could be any other way.
私もアキト君がいつでも一番よ。
Our noses touch playfully. So, no kiss?
キスしたって知られたら吉岡に叱られてしまうわ。
And then we'll have to keep it a secret then.
もう悪い人ね、私の恋人は。
And with our noses still touching, our lips come together for a kiss. And over, I savored the touch of her lips and her warmth. And every breath of hers made my heart beat faster.
はい、これでおしまい。これ以上はダメだから。
Well, I don't want to stop, but I'll behave. And if I keep Orihime here the whole night, Honoka and the others will get worried.
ごめんなさい。あの子もまとめ役として張り切っているから迷惑をかけたくないのよ。
I understand. So even if it's just brief, I'm glad I got to be alone with you for a little bit.
私もよ。だから今日はおやすみなさい。
And our lovers being over, Orihime left my room. I hope she has fun on this trip. At this point, Orihime is enjoying herself more than anyone. But we hadn't gotten to the actual point of the trip yet. And outside my window, the sky looks overcast. And I wonder if this is snow clouds are like. And we come all the way to this remote mountain, but we still could not see anything like a beautiful night sky full of stars. So, hope we get to see some stars. The forecast said that the weather would get better from tomorrow on. But that still didn't mean we would get good weather for stargazing. And all we could do is believe in fate and wait for clear night skies. Okay, so it's next day, and I noticed that I'm at an hour for this episode, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and we'll see in next episode how this observation camp continues. So this place reminds me of Yukikoi Melt from Front Wing, and that title takes place in a cold snow country with lots of snow, and they do have luxurious facilities, and it might have been one of the things that got Miharu to join the Winter Club, because he gets this nice in-style dormitory that has heated floors, everyone gets their own room, and they have their own baths. And there was actually a group bath incident in that story as well. So the problem was that because it was all girls originally, they took out the partition, and when Miharu walked into the boys' side of the hot bath, he had no idea that there was no partition, and he could see the girls, and it led to a pretty nasty incident, and he passed out. And one of the girls, Taruhi, felt so sorry that she was watching over him for the whole night. So Miharu is actually the name of the main character in Yukikoi Melt, which ironically is the name of the teacher in this visual novel. So anyways, hopefully we get to see what happened with Takeichi and Narie, and did they get closer the first night. So anyways, with that in mind, I'll see you in next episode.